13-11 Mariners. 3 on, 2 out. The runners go. Down the line. It's headed into the corner. 1 run is in. And it goes through. They have tied the game.
Comebacks are nothing new, whether it's in sports.
Oh, ball's down. Picked up. Beasley with a chance. Inside. Yes!
Video games.
But it's no more play. Stewie's won the round. We go to overtime.
Or just life in general. Comeback stories are everywhere. I mean, hey, ask your mom about last Tuesday. She'll tell you a great comeback story. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. Your mom is a very lovely lady. All jokes aside though, this one in particular that we're talking about today is probably one of the craziest I've ever seen in baseball. Oh yeah, and also it holds the record for the biggest comeback in MLB history. So yeah, I guess it's pretty cool. But just before that, I gotta take care of some stuff for legal reasons. Thank you to Pristine Auction for sponsoring today's video. If you don't know about PristineAuction.com, they are the most trusted sports memorabilia and collectibles auction sites. Auctions on PristineAuction.com start at just $1, and each day there are over thousands of autographed items available. So you win signed authentic signatures at affordable prices. Affordable deals are happening all the time on PristineAuction.com, and they have just about every player you could want. So if you want old school or new school, they got you. Every item on PristineAuction.com comes with a certificate of authenticity from the industry's most reputable authenticators. PSA, Beckett, Fanatics, and more. If you're a sports memorabilia collector and you want items that you can trust at affordable prices, you need to try out PristineAuction.com. Upgrade your collection today by using registration code SRS at signup and receive $10 off your first item one. That's registration code SRS at signup and receive $10 off your first item one. Be sure to sign up now because deals are happening every day. Thank you Pristine Auction for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to it. On August 5th, 2001, the formerly named Cleveland Indians were gearing up to face the Seattle Mariners at Jacobs Field in Cleveland. Cleveland had actually been doing pretty good so far in this season, having a 61-48 record before this game. Although in the 2 games previous to this one, they had lost to Seattle, and that's fine because the Mariners came in with an absolutely insane 80-30 record, which that doesn't happen. But hey, sometimes you just gotta brush yourself off, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, and get on getting on, brother. Yeah, or something like that. Up until the 4th inning, Cleveland is getting destroyed in this game.
High in the air, left center field, deep. Burke's going way back. Looped into left field, and that's a base hit. To the inside and through the draw and infield. First count. Now they might get 2. No, this cow has to go right under his glove.
It's 12-0 before they even put up their very first run. And when they do finally put up some runs, it's pretty cool.
That one is hit high in the air, deep in the right center field. Cameron Anichiro, and gone, a home run.
I mean, granted, they're still quite a ways behind, but hey, at least it's not 12-0 anymore. It's just 12-2. That's still a pretty safe lead for Seattle. Winning by 10 is crazy and kind of an embarrassing blowout in baseball. And hey, guess what? This was a nationally televised game on ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball. Everyone was seeing this massacre. Now, by this point, if you're a Cleveland fan, it was probably getting a little hard to watch this alongside the rest of the country as Seattle puts up 2 more runs by the bottom of the 7th.
We are not ramping down. We're just getting started.
Russell Branyan smacked a homer at the bottom of the 7th to trot himself around the bases and give Cleveland their 3rd run of the game. And in that same inning, with the bases loaded, Holbert Cabrera gets a very nice shallow left field hit and brings 2 more of the boys home, with 2 outs on the board, I'd like to point out. At the bottom of the 8th, Hall of Famer Jim Thome starts us off with yet another Cleveland home run to left field. And then another home run is hit by Marty Cordova with the runner on first. Honestly, if I was playing for Seattle right now, I'd start feeling the heat. But I'm not. I'm sitting at my computer making YouTube videos. What am I doing with my life? The last run of the 8th is put up by Omar Vizquel when he smacks one down the right field line for a double, bringing Einar Diaz all the way home from second. By the bottom of the 8th inning, Cleveland takes the score all the way from getting destroyed 14-5 to a very promising 14-9. I guess they just decided to turn on the Jets all of a sudden, or maybe baseball Jesus smiled down on them that day. Just think about how much of a switch you need to make in order to be down down 12 zip and then in only a couple innings put up 9 runs of your own while only letting the other team get 2 in that time. I mean, honestly, that in and of itself is an achievement, and the game isn't even over yet. Bottom of the 9th, bases are loaded. Einar Diaz steps up to the plate. First pitch is an outside ball. The second pitch is a high ball. The third pitch, he gives a look and they call it a strike. The fourth pitch is another outside ball and then he fouls one off high. The bases are loaded. There's 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th and he has a full count. At this point, all the runners are getting ready to go because either he gets a walk and brings in a run or he hits it. And that's exactly what he does.
There go the runners. Line drive, base hit. Taubensee scores. Cordova scores.
With a pretty line drive to left, he brings in 2 more runs, bringing the score to 14-11. Directly after this, Kenny Lofton hits a single to load the bases yet again. This bottom of the 9th all comes down to Omar Vizquel. There's a lot riding on this at-bat, and wouldn't you know it, he delivers. With yet another full count, Omar smacks one down the right field line, bringing in all 3 runners, tying the freaking game. Cleveland has just done the unthinkable, coming back from a 12-run deficit and tying it in the bottom of the 9th. All I'm saying is, baseball is pretty freaking sweet. Also, I really like this panning shot of the crowd. Everyone's just hyped, going crazy, and these 2 old guys are just like, what? What's going on? What happened? I like that little smile he does to the camera at the end, though. Then Holbert Cabrera hits a routine grounder to third, and that ends this wild inning. But now, it's time for extra innings, baby. Nothing substantial happens in the 10th inning. So little happened, in fact, that the game footage I used while researching this video skipped it completely and went straight to the 11th. All you really need to know is that no one scored. So let's go to the 11th, I guess. In the top of the 11th, Cleveland manages to shut down Seattle and keep them from putting up any more runs. So now they're in a position to finish this game and set the record for the biggest comeback in MLB history. With a nice little bloop to center, Kenny Lofton is now on first base yet again. Omar Vizquel hits a little single of his own, putting Kenny on second and him on first. And ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Holbert Cabrera steps up to the plate and on the first pitch does this.
And there it is, base hit. McLemore charges. Here comes Lofton. Here comes the throw. Deep, and Cleveland has won it.
With a runner on first and second, he breaks the bat, sends the ball down the left field line, and Kenny Lofton goes for it. With a throw coming down from second, he slides head first into home, and he's safe. Cleveland has just come back from a 12-run deficit to win the game in the bottom of the 11th and set the record for the biggest comeback in MLB history that still stands to this very day. I'm getting hyped, dude. Baseball's freaking sweet. Now look at it for a second from Seattle's perspective too. They had one of the most comfortable leads you could possibly have in baseball, and they somehow let it slip almost completely in the last few innings of the game. Again, it's not like this was a crazy important game by any means, but it still has to be a crushing feeling knowing that you blew it that hard and that you will go down in MLB history books as the loser in this situation. And speaking of history books, the 2001 Mariners are in it in another place. Most wins in a single regular season. They tied this record, meaning if they had won this game, a game where at one point they had a 14-2 lead, they would have beat the record. Oh wait, Cleveland didn't make it to the World Series that year, but they did finish out the season with a 91-71 record overall, so not a bad year for them. However, they did make it to the playoffs, and guess who they faced and got knocked out by in the first round? Good old Seattle, baby. Seattle did have a better overall season, boasting a 116-46 record, and if you need another reason to convince you that baseball is crazy and unpredictable, they didn't even go to the World Series that year. Even with the most wins in a single season, they still couldn't get to the World Series. But honestly, people don't talk that much about who knocked out who in the playoffs or who had the better overall record. This game right here overshadows all of it because of how incredible of a comeback and how incredible of a choke this game was. At Stark Raving Sports, we've said it before and we'll say it again. Baseball, just like life, can change quickly. You could be at the top of the world in one moment and sink to your lowest low in the next, but life goes on. That's just kind of how it is. You have ups and you have downs, but at the end of the day, you're still lucky enough to be alive and able to experience those ups and downs. Or maybe everything I just said means nothing and I'm dumb, which is fairly likely, but, you know, I tried. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, I really appreciate it. If you made it all the way to the end, comment whoa, or really just anything that pops in your head. It just helps us with the algorithm. Anyways, my name's Fico. Have a lovely day, gamers. Peace.